starting with tops. For our tops, we're going to want a good level of variety so that we can kind of mix and match, as any good capsule wardrobe should be able to. So we're going to want to invest highly in our staples, being a white t-shirt and a black t-shirt. These are really going to make up the foundation of most, if not all, of your outfit. So invest in good quality pieces, really experiment, find ones that work for you, and don't be afraid to shop around. My recommendation for brands for these are going to be H&M if you're on a budget, Uniqlo for kind of like the mid-end, and as for the higher end recommendations, everyone's physique and proportions are so different. I'm hesitant to recommend a brand. No matter what, if you invest in high quality materials and get it tailored to your physique, you really can't go wrong. The next item on top I'm going to recommend is a kind of cropped drop shoulder hoodie. These kind of relaxed fit hoodies are perfect, as you can always chuck them on if you're popping out, and they can also be dressed up a bit more in that streetwear kind of style, especially if you have the right jackets for it. Here I'm going to recommend sticking with neutral colours again. Don't be afraid to kind of treat this maybe a bit more as a statement piece, especially if you know you're not going to be trying to wear it with everything. Go for something branded or something graphic. You can kind of think out of the box here. You will, however, be sacrificing some of your versatility for a more unique outfit. Next thing I'm going to recommend is going to be a zip up hoodie. This is an excellent layering piece and always good to keep you warm. It's a basic, it's simple, and it kind of is just there to always serve you. However, if you found a hoodie that you really like, these can always be used interchangeably. My next recommendation is going to be a button-up shirt. Again, these are so foundational, especially if you've got a more formal outfit you're trying to put together. It's really impossible to do this without a button-up shirt. These are excellent pieces, maybe not for everyday wear. These can be implemented in street style, but definitely for those times you do need to dress up, this is perfect. My last recommendation for a top is going to be a quarter zip. These can be stacked on top of your t-shirts or on top of your button-up shirts, and are really an excellent way of elevating an outfit. This, however, I'd say isn't a must. It's more of a luxury if you want to choose to expand your capsule wardrobe. However, if you do invest in a good quarter zip, they're definitely a beautiful way of elevating your outfit, and they do happen to be particularly in at the moment. Next up, for your bottom choices. For our trousers, our first pair of trousers we're going to want to get are dark wash straight leg jeans. By dark wash, I mean either black or dark blue, but you're going to want a pair of straight leg jeans, as these are going to be the most versatile piece of clothing that you'll own. You can really wear these with anything, any day. As for the cut, go for something slightly baggy, not so baggy that it's a bit more alternative and not timeless, but not too slim where it kind of contours to your leg, as this isn't the look that we're going for. The next thing you're going to want to do is get to a lighter pair of trousers. This may be a white kind of linen, this may be a lighter pair of jeans. I'd say this depends on the climate. If you're in a warmer climate, maybe err on the side of a linen, a lighter fabric. If you're somewhere colder where it doesn't get that hot that often, go for something like a jean or a cargo trouser. The next thing you're going to want to get is some baggy straight leg sweatpants. These are going to be perfect for those everyday kind of loungewear situations, and you can always wear these with your t-shirt, put on that kind of like bummy fit. I think the straight leg baggy kind of look really works well here, as it shows these are a bit more of a casual piece, and these always work perfectly if you're just popping out to go get something, if you're just popping down to the shops or just going out casually. My last trouser recommendation is going to be dress trousers. A pleated trouser is very in at the moment, however I do think they make for quite a timeless piece. Invest in a good quality pleated trouser, and these will serve you very well. Go for a very neutral colour like a black or a grey. This also depends on the button-up shirt colour you've got, as you're going to want a piece that complements this. Really can't go wrong with a lot of these formal clothes colours. Again, go for a more of a straight leg cut. This is a theme throughout. This is because it's the most versatile cut you can really get. If you want to expand past your capsule wardrobe, you can go for something more trendy. However, if you want the most versatile, timeless wardrobe, this is going to be what you want to get. Next up for shoes, we're going to have 4 options. First of which is a sneaker. Obviously, everyone needs a good trainer in their rotation. This is where I think a lot of people have very personal brand preferences. So stick to what you really enjoy and what you know you'll get good wear out of. My personal recommendations at the moment are always going to be any sort of Gap, whether that be the Adidas Gaps or the Margiela Gaps, or anything in between. I think these are a very timeless shoe and always look great. If you want something more on the comfortable side, go for something like a New Balance or a Solomon. If your style is more streetwear, I know they're not really trainers, but Timberland can always work well. This leads us on to our next point very well, which is boot. You're going to want some sort of boot or high top in your rotation. If you're, again, more streetwear, go for a Timberland or maybe a high top sneaker. If that's less your style, go for something like a leather hiking boot or like a square toe Chelsea boot, as these really can elevate an outfit, especially in the winter and autumn months. Next up, I'm going to recommend a leather shoe. whether that be a loafer, a derby, or really anything dressy that still kind of has that element of modern fashion to it. I think loafers are really unproblematic and work best for most people. GH Bass and Doc Martens and Solivairs are going to be my recommendations for the best loafers you can get, as these are a nice mix of something a bit more alternative and a bit more classic. Lastly, you're going to want a pair of kind of slipper shoes. So my biggest recommendation here is going to be Birkenstocks. I love my Birkenstock Bostons. The Arizonas are, again, a timeless piece. If that's not really your style, you can always go for something like a Yeezy Slide, as these are quite popular option. Or if you're, if you lie more on the casual end, something like a Croc. As controversial as this might be, they do have a place as a loungewear shoe. Next, for accessories, jewelry wise, we're going to want to keep it minimal. Find a jewelry that works best with your undertone and stick with that, and keep it minimal. So like very minimal necklaces, maybe a nice watch, and nothing really too out there. For bags, your best bet is going to be stick with a neutral color. As for the types, backpacks and tote bags I think work very well together, as they kind of serve most occasions you'll need a bag for. If you're a bit more sporty, then a leather duffel works really nicely, and is a nice elevated version of a gym bag. But lastly, we need to look at color palettes, as if we want everything to work together in a capsule wardrobe, color palettes are going to be really important. The biggest thing, if you're really unsure, just stick with neutrals and you'll be absolutely fine. All the neutrals will work together, and you won't have to worry about putting these outfits together. If you do want a bit of spice, my biggest recommendation to build an effective capsule wardrobe is purchase one color only for your statement pieces. For instance, if you want your statement color to be kind of like a dark olive green, then any piece you want to have as a colored piece, go for that color, as that way it will all kind of work together cohesively. And when you choose to build out your wardrobe with more statement pieces, then you can experiment and pick colors that work with this accordingly. Hopefully this video has helped you build out your perfect timeless capsule wardrobe. On that note, I'd like to thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe if you've enjoyed, and goodbye.